I want to tell you about Earthroots wolf project, specifically about the eastern wolf. Earthroots has been interested in helping and conserving the wolf populations of Ontario for many years, but we've taken a particular interest in the eastern wolf, which is the rarest of our wolves, our only truly native wolf. People know it as the Algonquin wolf. It's centered around Algonquin Park and central part of Ontario. It's to be mainly distinguished from the grey wolf, or the timber wolf as they call it up north, which is further north primarily. It does interbreed to some extent with the eastern wolf, but it is a different species that originally came across from Siberia. So it's an Asian wolf. There's also a population of coyotes further south, which unfortunately does interbreed occasionally with eastern wolf. But it doesn't take away from the fact that we have a unique North American evolved wolf species called the eastern wolf, and that Earthroots has been trying to conserve for these years. Now, it does have some protection under the Species Conservation Act. It's listed as a threatened species in Ontario, and it is protected, of course, in parks, but also in rings of townships around some of these provincial parks, Algonquin and other areas, where wolf populations are protected from hunting and trapping, specifically because of the concern about the eastern wolf. But of course, it is widely dispersed and somewhat rare, and we don't really know the full range. So if we were to consider, for instance, other protections or expanding the protected area, we wouldn't have the data necessarily, or at least the government wouldn't necessarily have the data. So Earthroots has been helping out. We have had citizen scientists, volunteers, for some years now, primarily in the winter, but also all year round, going out and looking for signs of any wolves, but in the eastern wolf areas where we suspect there are eastern wolves, and collecting samples of their scats and urine and such that we can send it to a lab at Trent University and get the DNA analyzed to establish if it was in fact a threatened eastern wolf, and thus add to the data sets of where they might be found in Ontario and are we doing enough to protect them. I'll include a link with this video that will show you an example where one of our Earthroots people is actually collecting DNA samples from a wolf scat. Maybe not the most entertaining type video you might see, but nonetheless interesting because of the thought and conservation efforts that go behind it. So consider helping Earthroots in our project to conserve and preserve the population of our only native wolf, the eastern wolf, for the enjoyment of future generations and the preservation of the integrity of our forest ecosystems. Thank you.